Y'all really ate this look up on my first night in Nashville, and I'm gonna have to agree with you. That eyeshadow look was stunning. I never do colors like that. And so I wanted to give you guys a little tutorial of how I did it. So stay tuned. I always use a colored eyeshadow base for any eyeshadow look that I'm doing. If I'm doing a brown look, I'll use like a brown cream concealer, or if I'm doing a colored look, I will do a matching colored eyeshadow base. These ones are by City Color Cosmetics. You don't have to use a base, but they really intensify your pigment in your eyeshadows, and especially if you're not used to using colors, I really recommend getting an affordable colored eye base. It truly changes the fucking game. Starting off with the blue, I just took a little bit of this, the inner half of my crease, just about right there. Now taking a fucked up fluffy brush, I just kind of go over this and softly blend it out. And in between each, like before I blend it out even further, I'll take like a makeup rag and I'll just dust off the excess of it, and then I'll go back in and start buffing it more up toward my brow. Now taking this next shade, I'm going to continue just right where I ended on the blue, and I'm going to continue it in kind of a winged out fashion. As you can see, this is basically like your transition base shade. The colors are already there, so now the shadows that you put on top of them are just going to be intensified in pigment. So I'm starting off with the deepest blue shade for the inner blue half of the eye. And I'm just going to stamp this in. I find that stamping the shadows really helps the color pay off, and you'll get the most pigment out of your shadows from stamping. And now for the green side, I'm going in again with another dense, fluffy brush, type of brush, whatever brush you have, make it work, girl. I'm going in with the green, a deeper green shade on this side. I'm packing it on the outer half of my crease, and then I will softly blend it and drag it out just a little bit. You don't want this end to be too harsh here. You want it to start being more blended the more it gets dragged out. Okay, we have our deep shades laid down. Everything is all set into place. And now we are going in with a much smaller, denser buffing brush is what I would call this. And I'm going in with the next shade up from the deepest blue. So this is like the middle shade of blue. And I'm gonna start lightly blending out just the edges of that dark blue with this medium shade just on the edge. I don't wanna go too far. You just wanna blend out that darker blue and marry these two shades together. Now that I have those two shades married together and a little bit more blended out, I'm going in with that original fluffy brush I used in the lightest shade of blue in the palette. I'm using the Michaela and Glamlight Part 2 palette, by the way, and I'm just gonna use this and I'm just lightly go over top this medium blue shade and blend it up into the brow and the beginning of the bridge of the nose right there. We're just blowing it out. Blended, seamless. If I did have another small buffing brush, I would use that for this lighter shade of green, but I'm just gonna go in with this sort of fluffy brush. I love this brush, I've had it for years. But I'm just gonna go right on top, or right on the edge of that dark green that I used, and really start to blend and drag that shade out. And again, we're just marrying the dark and the medium together. And for my lightest green shade, I actually go in with yellow to further blend it all out and kind of intensify that middle green shade. It kind of just makes everything a little bit more vibrant. And I was actually shocked with how it looked because I never use yellow eyeshadow for anything. So I was like, oh, this kind of fucking slays actually. Okay. Now that we have everything laid down, I'm sure you can notice that we've lost some of the shades that we used before. So I'm gonna go back in with each shade that I've already used, and I'm also going to add black just in my crease and a little bit right here, and I will drag that out with the other shades that we used out here. Don't be scared of black eyeshadow. You can do it, bitch. I'll show you. I'm taking a smaller brush. This one's called a pointed eye pencil. It's a little bit fluffy. It gets right into the crease. I love this brush. And I'm going in with the black eyeshadow just in the crease. And when I get to this winged out portion right here, I'm just going to flick it out about that much. The thing about black eyeshadow is that you can always add more, but you can never take away. So just go in with a little bit and then add a little bit more and then add a little bit more until you get the depth that you desire. Are you still with me? We've been blending for a fucking hour, but that is exactly what it takes to do these extremely colorful, beautiful, dramatic eye looks. Now I'm going in with the Black City Color Cosmetics eyeshadow base, and I'm just going to apply this all over the lid, and I'm only gonna blend it out to meet into the black eyeshadow in my crease. I'm just gonna pat this out into that black eyeshadow in my crease. Then I'm gonna let it dry, and we're gonna add NYX Glitter Primer right on top. NYX Glitter Primer is another type of base, but it's like a glitter glue. And when you put this on, you let it get tacky. I just apply it with my finger, but you let it get tacky, and then you apply shimmers or glitters to it, and like they just like intensify as you put them on. So I always use this when I'm using a shimmer on the lid. Sometimes I'll use it with glitter too, but I more so use it for shimmers. Now I'm going in with a blue shimmer shade at the very front half of my lid. And that is gonna go into that blue eyeshadow that we did through the crease. And I'm gonna follow this up with a green on the other half. Oh, so gorge. And then to blend out that harsh shimmer line, I just go in with whatever's left over on my black eyeshadow brush that I used earlier and just kind of blend some black eyeshadow right on top to marry it into the rest of my wing. So now I'm just taking the shadows I used for the green part of the eye and I'm applying those same shadows underneath the exact same way. And that completes this look. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. You have no idea how long it took me right now to figure out am I wearing a wig or a fucking hat until I put Miss Pamela on. And I was like, well, yes, girl. Well, yes. If you recreate this look, please tag me. I really want to see it.